Madam Chair, good morning. Matapos kong masusing suriin ang impeachment complaint na inihain ni Lisa Largosa Masa et al. Laban kay Respondent President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., malinaw sa akin na ang reklamo ay sufficient in substance. Batay sa pamantayan ng prima facie sufficiency. Linawin natin, hindi pa natin hahatulan ang Pangulo. Ang tanong lamang ngayon ay ito, kung mapapatunayang totoo ba ang aligasyon, may nagawang impeachable offense ba ang Pangulo? Ang sagot, oo. Ang reklamo ay hindi puro opinyon o konklusyon. May malinaw, tiyak at verifikableng mga katotohanan. Isang malinaw na halimbawa, ang malubhang kapabayaan ng Pangulo sa pagpayag na salaulain ang pambansang budget ng kanyang mga kaalyado. Daan-daang bilyong piso ayon mismo sa reklamo. Pinayagan ang insertions, diversions at manipulasyon. At sa kabila nito, nilagdaan at ipinatupad ang paglalabas ng mga pondong ito. Ayon sa reklamo, pinahintulutan at nilaglaan ng Pangulo ang paglalabas ng bilyong pisong unprogrammed appropriations, mga pondong walang tiyak na pinanggagalingan na ginamit umano sa ghost projects, substandard infrastructure projects, at maanumalyang flood control. Hindi ito simpleng pagkukulang. Ito ay systematic acts na tuwirang pumapasok sa betrayal of public trust. Ang reklamo rin ay malinaw na nagsasaad na pinayagan ng Pangulo ang paggamit at pagdivert ng pondo mula sa PhilHealth, PDIC, at Foreign Assisted Projects Appropriations na nagdulot ng malalaking pagkaantala sa mga flagship projects ng ating bansa. Metro Manila Subway, PNR Elevated Rail at iba pa. Ang epekto nito, bilyong-bilyong pisong nawala dahil sa commitment fees, penalties at price escalation. Ito ay tunay na perang nawala, tunay na oportunidad na nasayang at tunay na pasaning ipinapataw sa mamamayang Pilipino. Ang reklamo ay malinaw na sumasagot sa mga batayang tanong. Sino ang gumawa? Ang Pangulo. Ano ang ginawa? Pinayagan at nilagdaan ng budget, manipulation at anomalous releases. Kailan? 2023, 2024 at 2025 GAA. Paano? Sa pag-aproba ng releases at kabiguang pigilan ang diversion ng pondo. Higit sa lahat, may direktang ugnayan ang mga gawain ito sa impeachable offense na betrayal of public trust. Ang mga aligasyon ay grabe. Tinatamaan ang public interest, sinisira ang constitutional order at winawasak ang tiwala ng mamamayan sa pamahalaan. Kung mapapatunayang totoo ang mga ito, may nagawang impeachable offense ang Pangulo. Iyan lang ang dapat nating pagpasyahan sa yugtong ito. Dapat bigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga nagrereklamo na magharap ng mga ebidensya, magsumite ng mga sworn statements at mapatunayan ang kanilang mga aligasyon. Kasabay nito, dapat ding bigyan ng pagkakataon ng Pangulo na ipagtanggol niya ang kanyang sarili. Ito ay hindi pag-uusig. Ito ay due process. Ito ay hustisya para sa nagrereklamo, para sa Pangulo, at higit sa lahat, para sa mamamayang Pilipino na may karapatang malaman, pinabayaan ba? May ginawa bang kasalanan? Pinagnakawan ba tayo? Kapag pinatay ang investigasyon, kung pipigilan ng komiting ito ang pag-usad ng investigasyon, ang magiging imahe ng Kamara ay may pinagtatakpan. Lalo na't maraming mambabatas ang di umano'y nakinabang. Maraming distrito ang biglang nagkaroon ng mga bilyong-bilyong alokasyon. At marami sa mga ito ay napunta sa mga flood control projects. Kung pipigilan natin ito, baka tayo mismo ay husgahan ng bayan bilang kasabwat sa pagtatakip sa katotohanan. Lalo pang magpapabagsak sa tiwala sa gobyerno, magpapahinya ng ekonomiya, magpapalayas ng investors, magpapawala ng trabaho at magpapalalim ng kahirapan. At sa susunod na tagulan, sa bawat baha, sa bawat dilubyo, sa bawat buhay na malalagas, tayo ang sisingilin ng mamamayan. Madam Chair, hindi natin dapat katakutan ang katotohanan. Ang dapat natin katakutan ay ang pagtatakip dito. Payagan nating umusad ang investigasyon, hindi para sa Pangulo, hindi para sa sa atin kundi para ipagtanggol ang konstitusyon ng Republika. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Eriza. Before we proceed, please let the chair read the 3 specific grounds for impeachment. First, under the first act of betrayal of public trust, institutionalizing systemic corruption through the BBM parametric formula of allocables.
She had to clarify.
Second act of betrayal of public trust, abuse of discretionary power over unprogrammed appropriations. And third act of betrayal of public trust, direct personal involvement in budgetary insertions and kickback schemes. For uniformity, since we deliberate on the sufficiency in substance, with respect to the De Jesus complaint per ground, we will be following the same system. So we are reminding the members to please confine the manifestation on the first ground first, and that is institutionalizing systemic corruption through the BBM parametric formula of allocables. That is for the guidance of the members. The Honorable Zamora.
Pwede ka nang... Madam Chair, if I may make my manifestation as regards the entire complaint. Yesterday, it was made clear that for an impeachment complaint to be declared sufficient in substance, the recital of facts should constitute the impeachable offense charged. It is clear that we need to show the ultimate facts or the overt acts of the President in relation to the various schemes he allegedly perpetrated. The second complaint shows 3 different schemes. In brief, they are institutionalizing systemic corruption through the BBM parametric formula, abuse of discretionary power as regards unprogrammed appropriations, and direct personal involvement in kickbacks. These 3, in fact, are interconnected. It is all about the flood control scheme. I don't want to belabor the point, Madam Chair. It is clear from the complaint that the President did not do any overt act that will show that he directed these 3 schemes. In the first place, it was not the President who created the BBM parametric formula of the DPWH. Having an imperfect policy direction is not an impeachable offense. Second, that the Supreme Court struck down the provision relating to PhilHealth funds does not make the President primarily liable for such. The connection to corruption is highly speculative. Finally, that the President allegedly has a direct personal involvement is not clear from the allegations or borne out from the records. We should not tolerate the use of hearsay allegations, videos that are not attested to, or fake news. The Honorable De Lima yesterday repeatedly said that there should be a nexus between the specific acts and the impeachable offense charged, and I fully agree. Accusations are not factual allegations. A lot of what is written are mere speculations or conjectures arising from hearsay and worse, even double hearsay testimonies, just to connect the President to the charges. To say that the office of the President has become the command center of a criminal enterprise is not only unfounded, but is also a mere dramatic rhetoric. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, we recognize the Honorable Garbin.
Patuloy na pinarurusahan ang kongresistang nagmiyaw-miyaw, ngunit wala pa rin nakakasuhan na malalaking magnanakaw. Masyado naman po tayong naging sensitibo. Sa larong basketball, tayo tinatawag na mga nana. Konting sagi lang, nagpa-foul na agad. Kong Miao Barsaga is merely expressing his views under a current backdrop of unprecedented level of corruption in government never before seen.
We have a duty to balance accountability with fairness and to allow room for correction without unnecessarily depriving the people of the 4th District of Cavite of their chosen representative. For these reasons, in the interest of consistency and institutional integrity, I respectfully oppose the motion to suspend Representative Barzaga anew.
Pero ako po ay naniniwala na ang muling pagsuspinde kay Representative Barzaga ay hindi magpapanumbalik ng respeto ng taong bayan sa ating institusyon. Ang pagsuspinde sa isang halal na opisyal ay hindi magpoprotekta, bagkus lalong magpapahina sa kongresong ito. The will of the electorate should always reign supreme. Si Representative Barzaga ang pinili ng mamamayan ng Dasmariñas.
There are lingering questions regarding members of this House violating conflict of interest, contractors, traders selling projects, yet we have not acted on them. In fact, we have tolerated them. What message would it send if we suspend those who fight corruption while allowing those who commit to remain untouched?
Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, isang mapagpalayang hapon po sa ating lahat. I rise to respectfully place on record my no vote in support for Honorable Francisco Kiko Barzaga and to articulate principled opposition to any disciplinary action that undermines constitutional freedoms and the sovereign mandate of Kong Kiko Barzaga's constituency. It bears repeating that Honorable Barzaga holds his seat not by appointment or party fiat, but because of the direct mandate of his constituents as reflected in the official election results and his assumption of office in Article 6, Section 6 of the Constitution. It points out that legislators derive their authority from the electorate. Any penalty imposed on Kong Barzaga that derives the people of Dasmariñas of representation must be carefully scrutinized against constitutional standards. Ang pinarurusahan po natin sa mga hakbang ito ay hindi si Kong Barzaga, kung hindi ang mga taong nasasakupan ng kanyang pamumuno. Ang mga mamamayan ng Dasmariñas, Cavite ang nagbigay ng kanyang mandato at siyang nagluklok sa kanya upang iparating at marinig ang kanilang tinig sa kapulungang ito. Tila tinatanggalan natin siya o sila ng lehitimo at malinaw na pamumuno sa paulit-ulit na mga hakbang upang patahimikin ang kanilang representante. Patuloy na pinarurusahan ang kongresistang nagmiyaw-miyaw, ngunit wala pa rin nakakasuhan na malalaking magnanakaw. Masyado naman po tayong naging sensitibo. Sa larong basketball, tayo tinatawag na mga nana. Konting sagi lang, nagpa-foul na agad. Kong Miao Barzaga is merely expressing his views under a current backdrop of unprecedented level of corruption in government never before seen. Nagsasalita lang naman po siya base sa kanyang nakikita at naobserbahan. Hindi po siya nag-imbento o gumagawa ng kwento na kathang-isip lamang. If the disciplinary actions against Kong Barzaga stem from speech that discusses public issues such as statements on corruption or critical commentary, such actions risk contravening the fundamental right to freedom of speech and curtailing legitimate political expression. In closing, I reiterate the call I made the last time I rose in plenary to speak about the same matter. Huwag po natin hahayaan ang institusyong ito, ang House of Representatives, nagipitin ang kanilang sariling mga miyembro. Maraming salamat po, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may I now recognize Representative Robert Nazal to explain his vote.
The Honorable Nazal is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, 6 months ago when this matter first came before the House, I voted to reprimand, not suspend, Representative Kiko Barzaga. I did so after carefully weighing our Constitution, our rules, and the fundamental demands of due process. While I considered the conduct unbecoming of a member of Congress, I did not believe then, nor do I believe now, that it met the threshold for suspension. Suspension is a severe sanction. It temporarily withdraws not only a member's privileges, but also the representation owed to his constituents. It is, in effect, the final step before the political death penalty of expulsion. Our discipline must be principled and proportionate, not reactionary. To impose another 60-day suspension today would be inconsistent with that principle and with the standards we seek to uphold. While attacks against this institution through social media are indeed improper and undermine public trust, our response must remain measured and just. We have a duty to balance accountability with fairness and to allow room for correction without unnecessarily depriving the people of the 4th District of Cavite of their chosen representative. For these reasons, in the interest of consistency and institutional integrity, I respectfully oppose the motion to suspend Representative Barzaga anew. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may I now recognize Representative Elijah San Fernando to explain his vote.
The Honorable San Fernando is recognized.
Madam Speaker, mga kaibigan, ang kalayaan po sa pagsasalita at pagpapahayag ng damdamin ay nag-a-apply kahit sa taong pinakaayaw natin. Kahit pakaalitan, kaaway, o kinasusuklaman natin ng isang tao, hindi nito maaalis ang kanyang karapatang makapagsalita at ipahayag ang kanyang saloobin. Freedom of speech, Madam Speaker, is not selective. Hindi ito pumipili ng kulay o paniniwala sa politika. It is a constitutionally guaranteed and protected right. This representation understands the concerns of our colleagues in this august chamber. True, we must observe proper decorum. True, we, elected officials, are held to a higher ethical standard. Totoo na dapat nirerespeto at pinoproteksyonan ang ating institusyon. Pero ako po ay naniniwala na ang muling pagsuspinde kay Representative Barzaga ay hindi magpapanumbalik ng respeto ng taong bayan sa ating institusyon. Ang pagsuspinde sa isang halal na opisyal ay hindi magpoprotekta, bagkus lalong magpapahina sa kongresong ito. The will of the electorate should always reign supreme. Si Representative Barzaga ang pinili ng mamamayan ng Dasmariñas. Kaya sila lang din ang may karapatan na magtanggal sa kanya. Hayaan po natin na ang mga taga Dasmariñas ang humusga, pumatol sa kanilang hinalal na kinatawan. Yun lamang po, Madam Speaker at mga kaibigan sa bulwagang ito, magandang hapon po sa atin.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may I now recognize Representative Egay Erice to explain his vote.
The Honorable Erice is recognized.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I still recall some 50 years ago when former President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. speaking to us, youth leaders of the nation, saying he wanted to combine the wisdom of the youth with the foolishness of the old. He said, the greatest advantage of the youth is the right to make mistakes in the process of learning. Mayroon po kasabihan, pagka yung bata, kakamali, kumisan, nakakatuwa. Pero pagka yung matandang katulad ko ang nagkamali, parang nakakabwisit na. We have already sanctioned Congressman Kiko with 60 days suspension. And in respect to my old friend, the late P.D. Barsaga, considering his youth, I can no longer vote for an extension of his suspension. Furthermore, there are lingering questions regarding members of this House violating conflict of interest, contractors, traders selling projects, yet we have not acted on them. In fact, we have tolerated them. What message would it send if we suspend those who fight corruption while allowing those who commit to remain untouched in this House? Some of the posts of Congressman Kiko, I would submit as extremely reckless. Pero nakikita ko rin po, meron din po siya mga posts that reflects public sentiment. Kaya ngayon po, pinili ko ang magpatawad. Dasal ko, Panginoon, patawarin niyo po ako tulad ng pagpapatawad ko sa kapwa ko. Pinili ko, I chose to be kind. Not just to Kiko. Chose to be kind to the almost 1 million population of Dasmariñas, Cavite, the constituency of Congressman Kiko Barsaga. Salamat po.
Majority Leader.